Hello, and welcome to the Decibel Boost podcast, the official music podcast for the website Surreal Resolution. I'm your host, Robert, and with me I have...
The Frog Snob, Alex.
And...
Mac 2.0, the hip-hop electronica guy, and I'm still here.
For now.
Yep, the crew is actually stable this time.
For now.
Let's keep it going forever. So, as usual, we start with the formalities, so, how have you gentlemen been?
Quite well.
Yeah, been better.
Yeah, I could be better too, although things are looking up for me. Hopefully, finally got all the paperwork filled out for my job, so maybe I can start soon finally. And, just been trying to catch up on some albums and releases and stuff from like the past week or so. I was actually listening to the newest Against Me album earlier today because they put it up for like free streaming up on NPR, I think. And it was alright. It's punk music, so you can't expect a lot of musical diversity, but it was good for what it was.
Yeah, that's how it goes, isn't it?
And Alex, I know you in particular had something you really wanted to talk about, so I'm going to leave the floor to you.
Yes, I do. Okay. So, on Monday night, trying to get out of my sort of funk, I decided to go out on the town and go see a concert. Devin Townsend. And looking back on it 2 days later, it was a lot of fun. The concert had 3 bands on the bill. Devin Townsend, headliner. Co-headliner was Between a Buried and Me. And the supporting act to kick everything off was Fallujah, which is a band from the Bay Area, so I gotta create them on a curve.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Interestingly enough, the show itself, not really the show itself, but the venue itself is closing down. After over a couple decades open. I don't know how long it's been open, but it's open for a while. And I've been to this place 3 times in the last 2 years. The first time was for Kill Devil Hill and Adrenaline Mob, both of which no longer have their original drummers. The second time was The Devil Wears Prada with The Chariot, For Today, and As I Lay Dying, before we all found out that their singer is Scum. Yeah.
I actually think I remember seeing Devil Wears Prada live once. This was like my senior year of high school. I know they were touring with like Whitechapel, Enter Shikari, and For Today as well.
Yeah, they come to this place, Amos the South, and they've been there quite a few times over the last couple of years. And I saw them back in 2013. It was a pretty good show, packed house. Nice. But going back to last Monday, kind of a rocky start. The venue was supposed to open at 6 o'clock. It didn't. No one knows why, but 6 o'clock, not open. 6:15, not open. 6:30, not open. And there are 2 lines circling the building at this point. So, the place finally opens at 6:38 p.m., giving us just enough time to get inside. The first band on the bill, Fallujah, they were okay. Nothing overly...
I've never been able to get into them at all. And for some reason, like, all of my metal listening friends seem to think that Fallujah is like one of the great things going on in metal right now. And I'm like, I don't get the appeal. They're so boring.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're boring. They were there as the opening act. They're there to warm the crowd up, and that's what they did. 2 things, though. Having your laptop on the stage, running Logic loops for your backing tracks in plain sight, not very good. Keep that away from the stage, No one needs to see that. And second, quit tapping the mic! I'm sorry for being loud about that, but that gets on my nerves so much.
I'm guessing you have the t-shirt for that, Alex.
No, but hopefully I will soon, along with the 1, 2, 3, 4 rule number 2 shirts.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow. And let me guess, you're going to wear that recording the podcast just to spite me, aren't you?
Possibly.
Sure. But
you'll never know. Anyway, their set was pretty short, like 45 minutes. Again, they were alright. Nothing overly spectacular. Then Between the Buried and Me came out. And for this tour, yes. They've been performing their Coma Elliptic album. It was awesome. They were a show stealer. That's all I gotta say about that. They were just...
You don't gotta tell me twice. I've seen them like I've seen them like live 3 times, and every time
they are really good. Only thing I have to say though is where I was standing, because this place is incredibly small for a concert venue. Where I was standing was opposite stage left rather. So all I could hear was just the rhythm guitar amp and the vocals and just the raw drums. So I couldn't hear any of the lead guitar parts, which kind of sucked. But yeah, they had a great set. They lasted about hour 15. There was a little break to set up for the main act. Devin Townsend came out at 9:45, and I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen a performer so elegant and perform with so much poise, yet still have a very dry, sarcastic sense of humor. Devin Townsend is a god.
Oh, you don't got to tell me twice. I've seen countless live videos of him where he'll always interrupt the show for some kind of really ridiculous shtick, and it's always amazing.
Yeah. Something I have to note, because I usually check the sets that bands perform on Setlist.fm. From what I understand, compared to the songs, the set list of his first 2 shows in this tour, one of his songs was cut for time, and at the end he started to say, "We'd like to play more, but we gotta go." So it feels like they had a kind of a strict curfew on Monday, because the show ended right at 11 o'clock, and that, I don't know, it felt kind of like a really, too short a show, because they only were on there for an hour 15, and that was it. But, despite that, despite the curfew, despite the not so optimal acoustics in the building, and despite it smelling, as he would say, like a hot whale vagina, because it is sweaty in this place, I had a really good time. It was a lot of fun. Got to listen to some great music. Got to just have 4 hours of just, what's the word I'm looking for? Release? Whatever. Anyway, I had a great time. It was a great show. The venue's kind of, but, that's the appeal of a small music club like that. You get to revel in the sweat and the heat while just rocking out with 1,000 other people inside. So yeah, I had a great time. Yeah.
You're going to tell me twice. I know that experience all too well. Except I didn't get to go see Devin Townsend because the closest he came down to Florida was all the way up in Orlando. Mm-hmm. And I obviously did not have the means to get my way up there. Although I know quite a handful of my friends did. Those lucky bastards.
Oh, and Zim, on the off chance you ever listen to this show, take a day off. Please take a day off.
Should I ask who that is?
He's the guy who does all the documentary filming for his YouTube channel. He's been doing daily videos of the tour. Is
that what that guy's name is?
Yeah, if you go to his YouTube page, look up. I think his most recent video is the one from Monday's show. You'll see what I mean by that.
I'll have to ask you for a link to that once we're done. Okay, so for the first couple of episodes that we've done, we've always started off running through all the new music before proceeding to the news items. But we're going to switch that up for this week because there was only a few notable news items that didn't explicitly have to do with new song releases. Meanwhile, the past week or so was just jam-packed with all kinds of new music, and most of the big news pertain to, wow, this person put out a new song, this person's putting out a new album. So, just to give you a heads up, that's where we're going with. That is our path for this week. So, with that out of the way, let's start with the first bit of news that I found interesting in headlines that sound like episodes of Metalocalypse. This one concerns Fenriz, a Norwegian metal musician who's best known as one half of the Norwegian black metal outfit Darkthrone. He was recently elected as a member of the town council in his hometown of Kolbotn, Oslo. The thing was, this was actually entirely accidental.
Yeah, Metalocalypse meets Radio Dead Air.
You don't know the half of it, because once I get into the specifics, this is really going to sound like some Radio Dead Air stuff. So, okay, what had happened was, his name was sort of put on, a short list of people who were eligible to be members of the town council, And I guess when the elections came time too, his campaign strategy was literally this. He had a picture of himself holding a cat, and the tagline, the tag he put for his posters, like his campaign slogan was, "Please don't vote for me." And people voted for him. Like, okay, there's a part of me that thinks, wow, how do these people not get that this man does not want to be elected to town council? On the other hand, do you not realize, Mr. Fenriz, just how much people love cats?
We had a cat run...
People love them cats. Cat videos be big on YouTube.
We had a cat trying to run for president in this country. People love cats. They will do anything and everything for cats.
Can I count on president again? Please.
Well, that's assuming that giant meteor doesn't finally arrive. That's who I'm voting for. So at this point, Fenriz, he can't leave this position because he's kind of stuck with this position for like 4 years. Although from what he said in a couple of interviews, the position is like relatively lax. So maybe he'll be able to continue doing Darkthrone. When he's not busy with town council stuff or his day job as a postal worker.
Well, he's got to do something to get some money, right? Because sure as hell ain't gonna get it in the music biz.
Life is terrible.
Yes, it is.
True that.
Anyway, this next article, I sort of bring this up because I kind of have to say it as an addendum to something I think we covered last week. Like, we were pretty unsure about what the state of Odd Future was. That was something that came up last episode. And this article kind of pertains to that. Over the past week, a performance at the One Love Music Festival in Calgary, which I believe is in Canada, featured a special performance by both Tyler the Creator and Earl Sweatshirt at the same time.
Together?
I know.
What a shock.
Yeah, they teamed up to perform a song from the 2010 Odd Future mixtape Radical. It was a song called Orange Juice, which was a remix of a Gucci Mane song called Lemonade. You see what they did there? Orange Juice, Lemonade. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Also worth noting, because like we said, we were unsure about the state of Odd Future at the moment, although we knew they weren't exactly like wholly together as a coherent thing. I almost kind of forgot that Tyler's also putting on another edition of his yearly music festival, Camp Flognaw, in November. And there is going to be some Odd Future shenanigans there, because I know at least Left Brain and Domogenesis, parts of the Odd Future Collective, are going to be performing there as well. So I don't know if this means that maybe Tyler's kind of soothing the strained relationships he has with the other Odd Future guys, but who knows, maybe it'll lead to some new Odd Future shit in the, future.
Maybe time could tell. I mean, they've been apart for like they've been doing their own thing for almost like a year. I mean, anything could happen. Anything could happen. I mean, we shouldn't expect, just anything to happen. Like, if something good, let's say tomorrow there could be a new Odd Future project coming all together. It could happen anytime, as far as we can tell.
Yeah, and this year in particular, we know anything can happen. I mean, just look at this year. Guns N' Roses reunited. A new Metallica album's coming out. We're all gonna die from this election. Anything's possible.
And the weirdest part is, dude, have you seen how much money that Guns N' Roses tour has been making?
Oh, it's sickening.
It's okay.
The fucking,
I don't have specific numbers, but I'm pretty sure the average across each show has been at least $6,000 to $7,000. I'm pretty sure the tour total has probably made the entire GDP of the entire continent of South America.
Millions and millions of dollars.
Well,
yeah.
That's a lot of cash.
People spend all kinds of money on their own nostalgia.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of nostalgia, or perhaps more accurately, speaking of things that should have stayed dead, a headline from 2004. Nickelodeon has announced that they're premiering a brand new cartoon series on October 3rd. A show titled Kuku Harajuku which is an animated series based off the backing performers that back a singer I'm sure we all know and, air quotes, love, Gwen Stefani.
Gwen. We know you're a weeaboo. You don't have to rub it in.
Ain't no hollaback girl.
I thought we all agreed Gwen Stefani's solo career was a mistake. Why is she trying to remind us she did this? I mean, isn't the reason she got back together with No Doubt a few years ago was to make us forget that she ever released that musical abomination on humanity?
Obviously it didn't work, because now we have this.
And it's coming on my birthday. Ain't that a bitch?
Happy birthday to you.
Oh,
Yeah, I was looking at the trailer, and, you know, it just... God, even the animation quality looks like it's 2005. Like, this somehow looks cheaper than something like Kappa Mikey, and I don't even know how that's possible.
Oh.
that cheap-ass Flash animation.
Yeah, but this is somehow... I don't even know how this is...
Oh my
This
God.
is a show made in 2016, and the animation quality is, like, below Flash animation from 2006. Just, I don't even know what's going on with the world anymore.
Ugh.
These broke motherfuckers, I guess.
Oh. I'm looking at it right now. This is some Littlest Pet Shop quality.
Oh my God, that explains everything.
It looks like...
Oh.
It looks like shit I'm not gonna watch, so I guess the fuck.
Yeah,
Well, clearly we're not the target audience for this, so who cares what we have to say?
obviously, but, you know, I like making fun of things that deserve to be made fun of.
Yep, that is a good pastime.
Don't you know it? And our final piece of news concerns something I found kind of interesting regarding a festival announcement. The Day for Night Festival is taking place December 17th and 18th in downtown Houston, Texas. And they had recently unveiled the lineup for this weekend, and it's a pretty big news item because the big headliner for this year is none other than our boy Aphex Twin. It is his first United States performance in 8 years, which is, wow, I'm kind of surprised because he's kind of been dormant for a long time now, and he's kind of been back. He's pretty much been back ever since he released his most recent album, Zero, back in 2014, and he's just been, like, going at it. He's been dropping all kinds of mixes and, you know, B-sides. He premiered his first music video in, like, 20 years, and now there's this festival performance. So I guess he's living it up while he can before he decides to, you know, go back to wherever it is he goes when he's not doing anything.
Good life to live. Come out every once in a while, put out some good content, and just go back to bed.
You just do your thing, then disappear, then, you know, get some rest and, you know, get back on the grind.
Yeah, it's almost like the second coming of Christ. At least, but the difference is, at least this time, we can probably expect the third coming if he does decide to, like, take another break for a while.
Yep, I'd say that.
So yeah, that's probably the biggest headliner. Although looking at this festival lineup, there is quite an eclectic mix of various other artists. You know,
Okay, I'm looking at them right now.
we got Run the Jewels, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got
Okay.
Survive, which I mentioned this to you guys earlier. For those of you that don't know, that's the band who two of their members composed the soundtrack for the recent Netflix hit Stranger Things.
I need to watch that now.
I've only seen, like, the first 2 episodes. It's alright. Also, there's Thundercat, you know, bass player extraordinaire.
Oh, yes.
Clams Casino, Unknown Mortal
Oh.
Orchestra, Mark, there's your boy, One O Tricks Point Never,
Yes.
and of course, one that I know it'll make Alex and me happy, I don't know about Mark, but one of the iconic filmmakers, one of the greatest, you know, filmmakers, writers, and composers of all time, the man himself, motherfucking John Carpenter.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Yeah, this is pretty impressive. This is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
But, let's not forget, Space Ghost's wife, Bjork, is gonna be there too.
You know, I only ever heard one Bjork album in my life. I kind of liked it, though, for what it's worth.
I only heard Army of Me.
Yeah, I think that's the album that I listened to. You know, I just realized I have a friend who's probably going to kill me because she really loves Bjork, and me saying I've only heard one Bjork album probably going to piss her off.
Oh well.
That's life.
So, I believe that covered all of the news for this week. So now we are going to move through the task of covering every new song that came out this week. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's get started.
Let's go get a jams.
Dozen.
First on the docket, our boy Zach De La Rocha, the frontman of Rage Against the Machine, has finally dropped his first solo single this past week titled Digging for Windows, produced by our boy LP from Run the Jewels.
We've been waiting for this for so long.
And this shit goes hard.
Indeed.
I listened to a few Rage Against the Machine songs once in my lifetime, and I gotta say, listen to the first few minutes, it was like, man, this is some good shit. I mean, this is some good shit, and the LP production is so fucking good.
That's the LP touch. It's like the Magic touch, but even better.
Damn right. I really dug the song myself. It definitely, goes hard. It's got that, red hot flow of Zach and that great LP production. If there's one thing I kind of have to, give a criticism of, it's that, while LP is a great producer, and I do think his particular production style is a perfect fit for Zach's solo material, it kind of feels like L is trying too hard to write a Rage Against the Machine song without the rest of Rage Against the Machine. It kind of feels a little bit like maybe Zach's stuck in that mindset, but I think L probably could have tried a bit harder to do something that maybe fits more within his own style, but other than that, it's still a fantastic tune.
We tried that already. It was called One Day as a Lion.
I have no clue what that is.
Nobody else does.
Ooh.
It just sort of went away.
Burn.
Nobody talks about it anymore, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's the joke.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Moving on, the South African hip-hop rave group Die Antwoord are dropping their newest album, Mount Ninja and the Nice Time Kid, this Friday. And they've shared another single in advance of that, a track titled Fat Faded Fuckface.
Who the fuck what?
Alliteration! It rolls right off the tongue.
Fat faded fuckface. Hey, fat faded fuckface! What the fuck you call me? Oh shit.
Well, there goes any hope of this show being family friendly.
Oh please, like it ever was. Don't lie, Alex. You're about as family friendly as Comedy Central.
Oh yeah. Well, kiss those sponsors goodbye.
But yeah, I have to admit I'm somewhat of a fan of this group, even though I know I really shouldn't be, because it's that kind of really hedonistic, self-indulgent, bitches, money, cars kind of rap music. But I think as far as music that you can turn up to, Die Antwoord is my ideal of how you do it right. Although this song, not so much, because it's a very subdued kind of trap song. It's got basically the exact same kind of production as a Future track, just with Ninja and Yolandi Vasir's weird vocal isms laid over top of it. And it's very quiet, and it's just not my kind of song,
The first man was like, this sounds like a trap. This sounds like a trap song. I'm like, I can sort of fuck it a little bit, but the production is kind of okay. All I know is from the producer is DJ Muggs, Cypress Hills DJ, and it ain't nothing special. It's it sounds like your standard Atlanta trap music. I know trap music when I hear it, and it sounds like that pretty much.
I'm only upset because I did like the previous single they released, Banana Brain, which is more like that in-your-face kind of rave style that Die Antwoord's best songs usually are. But hey, we got a couple more days until the full album drops, so who knows? Maybe the rest of the album will be more in the vein of Banana Brain and not like Fat Faded Fuckface.
That's something I bet you never thought you'd say before, ain't it, Rob?
Hey, look, how am I supposed to know that, alright? I say all kinds of weird things.
I see more of them. I see more random shit than y'all do, and I'm on Twitter.
Anyway, up next on the list, I almost completely forgot about this band. I remember they had one song that was really huge in like 2010, I want to say 2011, and then they just kind of faded away from the mainstream conscious. Alt-rock band Kings of Leon dropped a new single over the past week called Waste a Moment. Along with that, they announced a new album coming out on October 14th called Walls. And it's a Kings of Leon song. What can I say? It has a very, it has a very pleasing kind of pretty guitars layered on top of another. It's got the bass, it's actually surprisingly prominent in the mix. It's got some, cool little drum fills, like more interesting than a typical band of this ilk. And it's a decent song overall. I might be inclined to check out the full album when it drops, although it's probably not something I'm gonna like rush into right away though. It's just, Kings of Leon. They're just kind of, for me, they've always been a band that's just kind of there. Like they just kind of occupy space. And they might be okay, but that's like, all they do is occupy space.
Yeah. Listening to the song, like you said, it's a Kings of Leon song, and it follows the same traits and styles of a Kings of Leon song. I don't want to call it formulaic because that might be considered a negative, but Kings of Leon have their outline set in stone for most of their hits. It's a good outline, it works, but that's it.
Pretty much. Now, moving on to a song that I'm forcing Alex to talk about because I refuse to listen to this band out of sheer principle. So, Alex, you take the floor with this one.
Okay. Green Day is coming out with a new album very soon. Going back to some of the more traditional style, away from, the concepts, the politics, the experiments, the iffy kind of stuff. And their new song that they dropped over the last couple of days, Revolution Radio, it's alright. I mean, it's not terrible, it's not overly, praiseworthy, it's alright. It's Green Day going back to mid-90s Green Day, like Dookie Green Day. That's about all I can say about it. It's alright, it's a Green Day song, there you go.
How this band is still kind of a thing with as mediocre a sound as they have is just completely beyond me. The sheer banality of all the music I've ever been listening to them is why I can't stand to give them any more attention at this point. Like, I don't even know what this song sounds like, and I'm glad I don't know. I'll just take Alex's word for it. It sounds like Dookie. Which is kind of is an apt metaphor.
Rob doesn't like Green Day, if you can tell.
Oh, wow, really? How did you know?
Call it a hunch.
Okay, moving on to music that's actually interesting. A couple of songs from that ever so crazy of genres known as mathcore. First off, from the band Car Bomb, they recently announced they're dropping a new album on October 28th titled Meta, and they've released the second single from that album in the past week, a song titled Sets. And I love the crazy, frenetic energy that Car Bomb always brings to their music. The tempo is, like, constantly changing. It kind of feels like trying to, like, drive a car that's, like, its functionality is completely random. Like, it'll sort of go, and then it'll slow down a bit, then it'll slow down even more, then it picks back up to full speed, and not to mention the way the song is mixed, it takes really good advantage of sort of like stereo sound mixing where like you're constantly hearing just like different things in the guitars sort of ping-ponging back and forth across like your sense of hearing. And to top this song all up, there's a particularly heavy breakdown right smack dab in the middle, which features one of my favorite death metal vocalists, Frank Mullen of the iconic death metal band Suffocation. And that is some heavy shit, man. Oh my god, so heavy. Ugh.
I'll take your word for it because I didn't find time to listen to that before we started doing this because other stuff. But what you said about mathcore, personally speaking, mathcore and I have not clicked that well. It's hard for me to get into it because I'm trying to find a center ground to enjoy it, and I just can't. I like what they try and do, but I just can't follow along with it that well.
I can kind of see that. Like, I think what I'm kind of hearing is like, okay, I know like you're a big prog fan and prog metal has a lot of experimentation and variation, but at the end of the day, it still sort of keeps together. Whereas mathcore is more about just being as frenetically chaotic as possible. Like, there isn't as much of a center there. Like, even the good bands, I'd say.
Like I said earlier, a couple years ago, I saw the Chariot, and they were crazy. One of the dudes climbed the scaffolding and fell into the crowd surf. It's that kind of nuttiness that I try to get into, but I just can't. No matter how hard I try.
Kind of sounds like a Dillinger Escape Plan concert.
Yeah, but not as crazy.
Transition. Dillinger Escape Plan are releasing a new album in October titled Dissociation, and they've dropped what I believe is the second single from that album titled Symptom of Terminal Illness. Now, Dillinger Escape Plan, to me, they can do no wrong. I have nearly all their albums. I've listened to all their albums, and they're just a band that's always been pretty consistently excellent. And this new song is, of course, no different. It's every bit as crazy, every bit as heavy. It sort of starts with this slow, like, mid-tempo kind of stomping beat that, of course, has these weird switch-ups, and, you know, the tempo, it slows down, it speeds up. And then, of course, there's just this amazing sort of ramp up near the end where it starts at, like, the slowest tempo, and then it just accelerates as fast and intense as possible. And, so good. Funny thing, Kolbotn and Dillinger are actually touring together. And if I recall correctly, the first stop on their tour is somewhere around my neck of the woods. So hopefully I'll be able to go to that. Especially because this is apparently going to be Dillinger's last album before they sort of split for good or go on an extended hiatus. There's kind of been some confusion on what exactly their, air quotes, breakup plan is after this next album.
They're pulling a motley crew. They're going to go away, but we all know they're going to come back.
Either way, I'll be there. Up next, a new single from a really good grindcore band, a Singaporean-based trio named Wormrot, have dropped a song with the ever-so-clever title, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Grind.
Starring Jim Carrey.
Get it? It's a reference to something.
Grindcore.
But yeah, not much to say about this one. It's, it's a minute long, it's short and sweet. It has some pretty off-kilter rhythms. Like, it's not a straight 4/4 throughout the entire thing. It's kind of, I think I'm going to say it switches like 6/4 and, switches, tempos, it goes fast, mid, fast. But either way, it pummels, it's in your face, it's heavy, and I can't wait for the new album, Voices, which I believe drops October 14th.
Yep. Grindcore to me is in the same realm as mathcore. Hard for me to get into it. And on that note, I'd like to sing to you the ever-famous Napalm Death song, You Suffer, But Why?
That is highly accurate. I know. I saw Napalm Death live a few months ago, and they did in fact play that song.
Well.
Don't ask me how I could tell. They just did.
Yeah.
Up next, something that I'm sure Alex and I can, adequately talk about without just, me being solo. We have the comeback, the musical comeback of one of YouTube's greatest metal sensations, the one and only Jared Alonge. Oh wait, sorry, I got that messed up in my notes here. Jared Diner.
Bravo.
Am I saying that right? Jared Diner?
Yeah. Close enough. Rob Scallon's friend.
I'm kidding, of course. Obviously, I know Jared Dines. Because that guy's hilarious. How could he not be? He's Jared Dines.
Yeah.
You want to start off this one, Alex?
Sure. So, Jared Dines took a little break from YouTube after coming back off his tour with Rest Repose, which is a band he's in with fellow YouTuber Ryan Bruce, aka Fluff, citing some burnout and personal stuff that we have no business talking about here. And in the meantime, he's been working on some music, including a new album, which is going to be coming out very soon, called The Dark. And the first song he's released off that album, Demogorgon, it's Jared Dines without the comedy. So think of his other band, The Simulator, but just him alone. It's really heavy, really, in a way, almost melodic in some parts. Yeah, it's a very, very, very solid track from Jared Dines, and I'm glad he's back doing what he does best, making the YouTube stuff.
Same here. It's one of those, it's deathcore, but it's very melodic. it's the same kind of production that you'd probably expect from, like, his sketch videos. Like, it's got that same kind of drum and guitar tone as, like, the backing tracks from any number, Jared's Dines sketches on YouTube.
Right.
And to expand on what you were saying about his releases, his plan, actually, he's releasing 2 EPs. One is called Dark, which is what Demogorgon is off of, and then he's releasing another one called Light. You can kind of get the gist of that from looking at, like, the album art for Dark, because, yeah, it's, of course, black, and it's kind of got, like, the skull design, but it very clearly looks like it's cut off at the middle, sort of like you're supposed to, like, join it with something else, which I'm assuming is the Light EP.
Mm-hmm. And something else to note, he's doing pre-orders for his new album online, and his word is if he gets 2,500 pre-orders, he will put out a collaboration album with a whole bunch of other music YouTubers like E-Rock, Sarah Longfield, Rob Chapman, and many others.
Sounds like it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So, moving on. Now we're going to get into stuff that Mark can talk about, because he's just been so silent for these past few songs. Poor guy.
Oh, I wasn't typing on that. Okay, anyway, this new track from Little Beat, the bass god, and
Swaggo 100,000, Swaggo maximum. You can fuck my bitch anytime, bass god. Oh, bass god.
And Clams Casino with the new track called "Live My Life." Now, recently they have been touring. They've been doing a co-headline tour in cities like like mostly California, New York, and listen to the song "Live My Life." It's like I never listened to most Little B songs. I started listening to them mainly because of Clams Casino, and the song's pretty good. I mean, it has that. I mean, it has that the standard Clams airy hip hop production, which I'm actually digging so far out of his stuff. And when him and Little B collide, I'm actually liking when he collides with Little B. I mean, listen to his album 32 Levels that came out recently. And I think Little B's on like 4 tracks or 5. You count the remix of Be Somebody. He's actually the track is pretty good. I mean, the beat's solid. His lyrics are pretty fine. I mean, I can fuck with his track. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of inspirational tracks about living your life to the fullest as much as you can. And, it pairs really well with that kind of ethereal but still kind of oddly calming Clams Casino beat. And, Lil B can do no wrong. After all, he is the bass guy for a reason. Anyway, up next, a name that I haven't heard in quite a long time, although Mark insists they've apparently been around still. 90s New Jack Swing icons Biv DeVoe.
That girl is poison!
Even the Prog Snob knows who they are.
Poison!
I'm legitimately surprised.
Yeah, here's the thing. I saw a trend on Twitter. I thought Bill was like, "Oh damn, don't be another fucking." Oh, like, oh, new single. Okay, like they ain't released something since 2001. It's a song called "Run," and the moment I hear is like, wow, this sounds like this is another song I should be hypnotized of. Oh wait,
yeah. I heard that sample. I was like, I know this beat. I know where this beat is from. I've heard this before. It's gonna kill me.
Yeah,
they sample, Notorious
B.I.G. explaining. Yeah. Like there's that. Although that song sample of another song called "Rise" by Herb Halpert. Although look at who produced the track, like for "Run," and it's Eric Sermon of EPMD. Okay, I mean, the beat's really kind of just really too familiar. It's like, okay, I'm glad. I dig that sample. And I dig it. It's like this one's a pretty okay song. I ain't heard of it, but
I think my biggest problem with the song is that it sounds like 10 years out of date. Like, I'm sure if this dropped in like 2004, it would have been all right, but it's 2016. It's like this just sounds way too out of date for me.
Yeah, that. And I don't hate it. It's like, okay. I know y'all pushing like close to y'all 50s. I mean, these guys are in their close to their 50s. They're like what, 48. I'm like,
damn.
Yeah. Black don't crack. Remember that. But yeah, this song is. Okay. It ain't nothing special. I've never been much of a of the both. I mean, I like Poison. I like Poison, and some of the other songs are, I guess, okay. But and I know they got like a new album called Three Strikes due out next year, like January 27th. I mean, I'll just wait till see if we get any new stuff, if we get any new material from them that doesn't sound, past its prime, because that's the fastest way you can disappear, like they did 15 years ago.
I wish, but I'm not holding my breath on that. Anyway, moving on. It's Wednesday, so of course we have to talk about the latest release from the Adult Swim Singles program. This one coming from Norwegian experimental singer-songwriter Jenny Hval. A track titled Period Piece, which is from her upcoming album, I believe titled Blood Bitch, which I know is coming out at the end of the month. I actually checked out some Jenny Hval earlier in August to sort of, prep myself for this new song, and I found myself kind of digging what she does. She has all kind of weird experimental beats, and especially the way she constructs vocals, which the flow and sort of phrasing of lyrics is kind of offbeat and kind of stream of conscious at times. This song in particular, it's very kind of weirdly soothing with its weird beat and the complex layered vocals, especially this kind of cool choir chanting that backs up Jenny's own performance. And there's also this cooler bit in the middle where there's sort of you hear this brief kind of synth melody that kind of sounds like the kind of horns you would hear if you go out to Medieval Nights or something, if you know what I'm talking about. Like a Medieval Times restaurant kind of.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. This song is, I guess it's I mean, it was alright. I mean, like you said, I saw this once or twice. I don't really require it didn't require me to much replay for me much. It's a alright song for me, I guess. That's how far I can go with this.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a pretty chill song. I like it.
And last but certainly not least, probably the single biggest new song release of the past week. Lord, praise be to Jesus, the Queen herself, Lady Gaga, is back. And you guys have no idea how much I've missed her, especially with just how badly pop music's gone to shit in the 3 years that she's not been doing any kind of mainstream pop music. We need the Queen back to show all these assholes like Justin Bieber and Zayn and Designer how to actually do pop music.
Yep, you got a point there.
So yeah, she dropped a new single titled Perfect Illusion, which featured production work from Tame Impala's Kevin Parker and some guitar work courtesy of my boy Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age. And the main takeaway that I have to say about Perfect Illusion is that I know Lady Gaga is always a fantastic singer, but this song is easily the single best vocal performance that I've ever heard out of her on any song. And that's saying a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
High praise.
Okay. All right, that's some high praise over
there.
there.
And it's just, it's kind of a ridiculously catchy tune, and it's just, that's probably Lady Gaga's best asset. I'll admit, even though I do generally like her, I do kind of run hot or cold on some of, the songs she does decide to release sometimes. Sometimes she'll put out something I really like, such as, God, what's the song I'm thinking of? I'm blanking on the name right now. But, she does songs that I like, but then she occasionally does, something like Applause, which I'm like, I'm sorry, what were you kind of thinking with this one? I mean, the beat is cool, and the vocals are cool, but, the lyrics are just weird. And not, good kind of weird. But I'm just so happy that we have our pop queen back. Because, to be fair, she's been doing stuff. She never really went away. She just has been doing, active in pop music. She's taken up more, her acting duties. Because I saw her in Machete Kills when that came out, and I thought she was pretty fun with that. And of course, she was also busy filming season 5 of American Horror Story. And also, from what I've heard, she's in the upcoming season of American Horror Story, which is actually premiering the night that we're recording this. And we somehow still have no clue what that season's actually about.
So that explains why that song's been playing on the promos every time I watch FX or FXX.
Yeah, I know, but hey, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I'm not either. It's a decent song. It's good.
Yeah, I'm not as partial to Lady Gaga as you are, Rob, but it's an alright song by my standards.
Yeah, and of course she's dropping a new album at the time we're recording this, we don't really know what the name is or track list or when exactly it's going to come out. Although she has revealed a list of various collaborators. As we mentioned, there's Josh Homme, there's Kevin from Tame Impala. 3 other ones that I found noticeable. There's Father John Misty, Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine fame, and of course, Beck. Because, those 2 are a match made in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I have to really say on that song. Praise be to Gaga. And to wrap up the podcast, because we've been going on for like a while at this point, like almost 50. We are, of course, going to...
Our longest yet.
Yes. We are going to wrap up with the new album releases that you can expect for September 16th, which is probably when you'll first be listening to this. So, starting from the top, from the Hispanic death metal band Brujeria, their newest album, Pocho Aztlan, which is exactly the album we need in this election season. Trust me, they've been pushing the whole fuck Trump thing with this album pretty hard. That's what we need. As mentioned earlier in the podcast, Die Antwoord are dropping a new album on Friday titled Mount Ninja and the Nice Time Kid. From the sort of hardcore / screamo act Touche Amore, or I guess rather post-hardcore act Touche Amore, they're dropping a new album titled Stage 4. As I mentioned earlier, I was listening to a stream of the new Against Me album, Shape Shift With Me, which is dropping on Friday as well. Alt-rock band Taking Back Sunday, also known as that one band that you probably thought was really cool back in 2007, are dropping a new album titled Tidal Wave. And last but not least, of all people, R&B crooner Usher Raymond, the Usher, is dropping a new album titled Hard to Love, with 2 being represented by Roman numerals. Because why not?
So that's why I've been seeing so many title ads on YouTube. We'll talk about that another day.
Well, do we really need to? I mean, what's there to say? Tidal's been losing money. Lots of money.
About them losing money?
But...
Yeah, they have, because, exclusive, they're looking about OVR's exclusives, but,
nope.
Yeah, but we kind of, that's really not enough.
Although, I think, we can probably bring it up next time on the podcast. Okay, that's basically all. That's basically everything we've had to cover. The news, new music, new album releases. So, we will sign out for now, letting you know, of course, where you can find all of us. So, wow, that was probably the clumsiest way I've tried to segue into this. Maybe next time. So, Alex, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on the internet, on Twitter, Aura of Azure, and that's about it. Only place worth finding.
Okay, Mark, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at Mac2 Hybrid Media on Twitter. Also on my site, the Hybrid One, at thehybridone.wordpress.com. I do every fucking thing. Almost.
Damn right. And as for me, you can find me on Twitter at Rob Barracuda. You can also find me on YouTube by that name, which is probably where you'll be listening to this podcast. Ask FM, Instagram by the same name, Rob Barracuda. And, of course, shout out to Mr. E for letting me use his music for this podcast. And make sure to follow the website Surreal Resolution on Twitter at Surreal Rezo. There's some news to discuss soon. Can't say it now, but soon.
Mouth shut on that.
Damn right you will. I'll also have a come there myself.
What was the one to get into my house? I know, I went to yours. Remember?
And I still don't know how you got it.
It's a little secret, my dear Robert.
Oh, okay, and with that, we are signing out. This has been the Decibel Boost podcast for this week. Thank you for listening, and until next time, peace out.
Later, motherfuckers!
Latest.